Hi guys, welcome to the James Bond Show. I'm your host, Krazy Kajeevie, with no fears, limits, or substitutes. Guys, I have got a very special show for you. Damn, this thing is loud. There you go. Well, this is my review of Tomorrow Never Dies. Now, I didn't want to leave you guys hanging, so I'm spitting this one out as soon as possible, and I'm joined by the brother here. He's not doing a very exciting pose, so let's fix him up. Okay, guys, now, if you're liking the channel, if you're new to the channel, hello. If you're coming back to the channel, welcome back. And if you like it, guys, right now, let's do a little exercise. See the like, let's hit that like, give it a thumbs up, it supports the channel, and also let's tap the subscribe button. Boing! If you hit the subscribe, a little notification will come up, a bell. Hit that, and that way you will get an email notification of when the James Bond Show uploads videos. And you can see, guys, I've uploaded around 140, I think this will be my 142nd video, and I've been on YouTube for almost a year, so no one is doing that output. 141 videos in a year, so this is the channel to join, to come and be part of, because, well, I'm Krazy Kajeevie. Now, we're going to have a look at Pierce Brosnan's second James Bond film, 1997. I saw this at the cinema. I saw it about 4 times at the cinema, and I even took my mum on one occasion, and we went and saw it. Hi, Mum. And, okay, so what is the story? Basically, we've got Elliot Carver, the bad guy, and he's a crackpot, and he wants to sell newspapers. That is basically the plot. All right, bye, see you later, review over. No, I'm just joking. So basically, he runs a newspaper called Tomorrow, and he wants more ratings. He wants ratings on his TV shows, his news, and to sell his paper. Now, how is he going to do that? He is going to start World War III. So he's got an invisible boat, and he uses the invisible boat to attack British ships that are apparently in Chinese waters instead of international waters, and he wants to start a war basically between Britain and China, and that is his plan. And then he's going to have rights to cover the story. So that's the plot. Now, basically, to me, the plot is daft. It makes absolutely no sense that this guy is going to start World War III to sell newspapers. So when you actually look at that, it's crazy. Now, of course, Elliot Carver, a lot of people refer to Elliot Carver being modelled off Rupert Murdoch, who owns papers, he owns Fox News, Fox this, that, whatever. He owns just about everything. He was a real-life Elliot Carver where I just hit my nose. That'll teach me. But that's basically what Elliot Carver is about. By the way, guys, I haven't told you yet too. Right now, I am wearing the jacket Pierce Brosnan wore in No Time to Die. This is the jacket. No, it's not really. I just made that up, and I'm going to get it off. But it's brown, and it's leather, and it kind of reminds me of the jacket. And this is the t-shirt that Krazy Kajeevie wore doing the Tomorrow Never Dies. Okay, now, guys, before I get further into the film, what I want to do, because this is a show, I want to make it not just about the film, but I want to make it about what the film did to the world of products and merchandising. And we got a whole bunch of things. Now, this is actually a prop from the film. Unlike the jacket story, which was a big Pinocchio lie, this is a Elliot Carver media pass. It's quite shiny, so I hope you can see it. And that is a media pass prop piece, apparently from the film set. Okay, now we have this is, oh yeah, of course, Medicom. Memory getting a bit old, guys. So this is a Medicom toy. It's a Japanese toy, and it is Pierce Brosnan from Tomorrow Never Dies. Have a looky. And he's never been out of the box. I've actually never opened him. So he's a limited edition. I know he's a really low number, this one too. He's number... No, he's not. I think my Sean Connery's a low number. This is 421. Hey, anything happens on the James Bond show. So that came out for Tomorrow Never Dies. Now, a bunch of years later, from around 2001 onwards, Sideshow had the license to do James Bond dolls, and they brought out a Wei Lin figure, and then they brought out a special limited edition Wei Lin figure, and there are only 500 made of the limited, and this is the limited edition, and I'm going to show you why it's limited. It's limited because only 500 were ever made with the double machine guns there. See her double guns? So these are ridiculously hard to find. I don't know many that have them, and I've got one. Okay, also here we have by Dragon. So we've got Pierce Brosnan here, Dragon action figure. Check it out, guys. And also on the back, so you got basically the Tomorrow Never Dies poster there as well. Ching, ching. Okay, so we're going to put that there. Now, Corgi, of course, always makes the James Bond cars. And we've got the 750i from the awesome car chase, which I'm going to talk about very soon. And we've got Brozza there with the film title on the back as... well. Alright, need a go-go gadget arm. Now, bubblegum cards. Bubblegum cards. Bubblegum cards. Tomorrow Never Dies. Bubblegum cards. There we go, we got those. We've got James Bond car collection, 750i again. And now this was a really, really expensive piece coming up. This was the BMW motorbike in the film. Obviously you've got the car there, but this is the box for the motorbike. Now he's inside there, and I'm not taking him out, but I have one we made earlier. This is actually a cheaper toy version of it, of the R12. Sorry, I'm retarded tonight. 1200C. Excuse me, guys. I had a very long day at work. Okay, so there you go. There is the motorbike. And that was in the awesome motorbike chase, which I'm going to talk about soon. Okay, so let's get into this film. Actually, we can't get into the review until I show you this Tomorrow Never Dies pen as well in there. It's the pen, guys. Check it out, check it out. Alright. And now this is a digital recording pen. This is a spy pen. And you get to record crap on it, and it's hard to open. Here we go. So you can be a sneaky peeky and record things on it for about 10 seconds. Okay, now also what I have here is I've got an announcement. I am reading, I've been really slack with it, but I'm getting back into it as of tomorrow. Live and Let Die. There's one of my Live and Let Die pan novels right there. Here's my other Live and Let Die book. Bit of an old timer, this one. And I am reading those. Now the reason I'm telling you that is because I'm going to be doing a Live and Let Die book review coming up very, very soon. Okay, so let's get into Tomorrow Never Dies. So I've given you the basic story. We start off, the pre-title sequence starts off at basically an arms bazaar. So we don't see James Bond for a while. We see the British Secret Service with Admiral Roebuck and M looking in on this Russian arms bazaar, basically buying, selling, trading, whatever these crazy terrorists are doing. More like a terrorist arms bazaar, not a Russian. I'm sure there's some Ruskies there though. And so anyway, James Bond, he's in there wearing that brown leather jacket. He walks up to a guy that's a real kind of terrorist looking dude, smoking a cigarette, smacks him in the face and says, "Filthy habit." Okay, that was more Sean Connery, but I cannot do a Pierce Brosnan impersonation. In fact, I can't do either impersonation. So, Brosnan smacks him out. He ends up with a... basically, MI6 and Roebuck decide to fire a missile onto this arms bazaar. Brosnan has to get a plane out because he realizes there are atomic warheads, Soviet atomic warheads, on this plane. So the missile's coming in, the British Navy trying to stop the missile. They try to hit abort, it's out of range, it's coming in. Bond has to get out of there, and it's basically like this. This is Bond, missile coming in, and he's got to get out in the plane. The entire sequence, the PTS is fantastic. It is, wow. It is 90s action. It's a bit of old school 90s action, but it is filmed beautifully. It looks great. The pacing's really nice, and it was directed by second unit director Vic Armstrong. And it's great. You can see Brosnan in there and throwing some punches and doing a few stunts. So I love it. Then we get into a very silly moment in the PTS where Bond is up. And of course, guys, if you haven't seen this film, which I'm sure the Bond fans have, but if you haven't seen this film, there are spoilers galore. So maybe go watch the film, come back, then listen to this review and subscribe. So anyway, silly moment. Enemy plane here, Bond's plane here, he hits the ejector seat because he's got a baddie in the back trying to strangle him, and the baddie goes out of the cockpit, up into the other plane, and Bond delivers the line, backseat driver. And then we get Sheryl Crow. Bing, 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 bing. Bullshit, this song is crap. This song is crap. K.D. Lang, we all know, all the Bond fans know, K.D. Lang's song Surrender, that's at the end of the credits of this film, should have been the song. I don't care what they say. Sheryl Crow had her 2 minutes of fame. I mean, she was dating that cyclist, Lance Armstrong. You see the astronaut, Lance Armstrong? Who's Neil? Oh, Neil Armstrong. He's the astronaut. Lance Armstrong, the guy with one testicle, and he rode the bike. Sheryl Crow was dating him. When she found out he had one testicle, I think she bailed on him. But basically, she crawled out of a rock somewhere, got a contract. She got famous because of some song about all I wanna do is have some fun, something like that. And basically, she crawled back under the rock once the 90s disappeared, and we never really heard of her again. And look, the song, it's not great, it's not terrible, but not a fan. K.D. Lang, big old lesbian K.D. Lang. He should have done the song because her song is incredible. Well, it should have been at the start of the film. So, what happens after that? Well, we see Stamper, he's the villain of the piece, well, the henchman of the piece, and we see Elliot Carver, and he's the villain of the piece, and he's played by Jonathan Pryce. And apparently this role was offered to Sir Anthony Hopkins, but he went, script, sucks, and he didn't want to be in on it. Now, during the production of the film, there were a lot of issues and fights between Roger Spottiswoode, the director, and the scriptwriter, because the scriptwriter kept changing stuff, and there was a lot of issues. And the actors, basically Pierce Brosnan was getting really pissed off during the filming of this. Also Terry Hatcher, who played Paris Carver in the film, and they were basically showing up to set and then told, no, that scene no longer exists, or 2 days out from filming the scene, no, that scene no longer exists, and here's the new scene. So the film was really changing, and the film they signed on for kind of wasn't there at the end of the day when they were on set trying to film. So basically, James Bond ends up with Wei Lin, who is Chinese Secret Service, played by Michelle Yeoh. Now, I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm going to say this straight up. Yes, she's kind of cool with her action and all that, but to me, and don't shoot me and call me a racist, because I think Asian women are hot, but, well, she's just not. I'm sorry. I just never, ever found her attractive. In fact, I think she's ugly. To me, she's just, well, kind of the ugliest Bond girl. Other than maybe Rosie Carver and Live and Let Die. Oh, he's a racist. He's picking on an Asian and a black girl. No, Asian and black girls are hot. These two just... So, Michelle Yeoh, nah. And there's no chemistry. And one of the biggest problems of this film for me is we've got this cool Bond in Pierce Brosnan in GoldenEye, and he's disappeared. Now he's like a little lost puppy. Oh, Michelle Yeoh's so great, and her lines of dialogue, which probably was heavily influenced by feminazi Barbara Broccoli, is basically always putting Bond down. Always putting him down, like she thinks he's great. They're on a motorbike chase, a great chase. They're on the back of this, and a helicopter's chasing him. Bond's here, she's there, they're handcuffed together, and she says, "You better not try anything." Why would he try anything? You got helicopters and machine guns after you, shooting at you. and you're on a bike, handcuffed, and you think he's going to try something? You arrogant cow. Seriously, go eat a bowl of rice. I would rather eat a bowl of rice than kiss Michelle. Yeah, okay. In real life, I'd probably snog it and then go and eat a bowl of rice, work up some energy kissing her, then go eat the bowl of rice. But to me, come on, she's not attractive. And then they're in a helicopter. They're in a helicopter. Actually, they're in a helicopter before they're on this bike, and they're handcuffed together, and he comes out with a corny line about being joined together, and she looks at him like, not for long, or hopefully not for long. Sorry, she doesn't sound like Boris Grishenko. I've just did a Russian accent for some reason, because my Asian accent is really bad. So, anyway, every line she has, she puts down. And then later on, when they escape from the bad guys, after this scene, basically they're in a, they're in a shower scene, and they're showering for some reason together, and it's like they're trying to force the romance. And they're handcuffed, and she craps on him again as well, you know, and then he just keeps following her around like a lost puppy. So the balls he had in Goldeneye, the swagger, the tough guy, that is kind of gone. Now, one good bit of news here is David Arnold. David Arnold makes his debut as a James Bond composer, and his score is balls to the wall, like full-on crazy stuff, even with a bit of Moby style in here as well. And Moby did a cover of the James Bond theme when this soundtrack all popped, and it's great. David Arnold is awesome. He just came hot off Independence Day in 1996, so he was hot property, and the James Bond people got him. Also, Q, there's a great scene from Q, Desmond Llewellyn. Unfortunately, part of this scene was cut out in post-production, but he's got some really great chemistry here with Pierce Brosnan, and he gives him the 750i. Now, the BMW 750i, the action scene in this was voted on our Facebook page. Come and join it if you haven't. James Bond Real Fans on Facebook, was actually my #2 favourite James Bond car chase of all time. #1 was the Lotus Esprit car chase from The Spy Who Loved Me. But this BMW, even though Bond's in the back on a mobile phone controlling this car, it is so awesome. It's great to look at, visually exciting, the music is great, the editing is fantastic, the pacing is awesome. There's rockets, there's guns, there's spikes on the ground. I absolutely love it. And people whinge and say, well, James Bond doesn't show any safety when he lets the car go off the edge of the building and into an Avis rental. And you know what I think of those people? I think those people are absolutely right. He showed no care, but guess what? I didn't care even then when he didn't care about showing no regard for the people, because they were in Germany, and if a car crashes on the heads of some Germans, then it's a good day for Krazy. Hey, I ain't called Krazy Kajeevie for nothing. So then later on we see James Bond at an army base, and they're crapping on about the boat, the Devonshire, that sank, and he's there with, once again, Jack Wade is back making jokes that only your grandma will understand, but he makes jokes. Then Bond gets into a Halo outfit type gear thing, flies out of a flame, and I tell you what, this is a really underrated scene. I love this scene. As he comes down, parachute comes off, and he's in the water. It is really great. It's well executed, underrated. I like it. Some people have bagged it. I actually love the scene. I think it's an underrated little cool action scene. Bond goes underwater, joins up with Wei Lin, and then they get some crap from the Devonshire. Then they get it. That scene happens, and anyway, towards the end of the film, they discover Elliot Carver's boat. They go and film in Thailand, near where The Man with the Golden Gun was filmed, and we see the invisible boat. They get on the invisible boat, they shoot the crap out of it, and Elliot Carver does woo 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 impression, and then he gets killed, splattered, and then Bond and Stamper get in a big fight. Bond stabs Stamper like 100 times and still can't even kill him, and then eventually kind of kills him. And that's the end of the film. Now the finale at the end of the film, it's too die-hard, it's too Rambo, it's not refined, it's not suave enough, so that's my issue with it. Also, my issue in the film is Terry Hatcher, and I know there's another James Bond channel out there that has actually said that this person, John at Haphazard, has actually said that he believes that Natalia Semyonova from GoldenEye should have come back. She should have been the girl instead of Paris Carver. Now, it makes sense in a way, I get it, because then the audience gets an emotional connection with her. But one thing I've never agreed with on that is, if Jonathan Pryce was cast and that idea was happening, I don't think it would have worked. Because to me, there's no way Natalia, who obviously had a lot of feelings for Bond, would go for someone like Elliot Carver. It's not in her DNA, it's not in her fabric to go for some old, petulant, rich twat. So even if they push that, I don't think the audience ever would have bought Natalia, who had such an innocence and a decency and a strength about her, to go for some rich asshole. Where Paris Carver, it's more believable. Her character seems shallow. It seems like she would. So yeah, okay, we would have an emotional connection because we know her, we know Natalia, and when she gets killed by Kaufman. But it would not make sense at all for her to go for that type of guy. It just wouldn't make sense. So now Elliot Carver, played by Jonathan Pryce, he's miscast. He is a really weak James Bond villain. He's one of my least favourite Bond villains. The scene where he does the whoa, 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 I get a good laugh every time, but I don't buy him. He's having fun, he's camping it up, but he's a weedy little stick. It looks, you know, you could shake your martini or stir it. Don't stir it, James Bond wouldn't be happy with you, but you can stir your martini with him because he's such a little pretzel. So guys, that's basically Tomorrow Never Dies. Now the action, I've got to say, the action is amazing in this film. This plot and the story, not so great. The fight scene with James Bond when he takes on Elliot Carver's guys before he does station break and kills the power is tough, it's hard, it's really great. But the dialogue up towards that point, adrift, oh, I'd be lost at sea. He's not being a spy, he's basically just giving himself away. But I still find Tomorrow Never Die is one of those films like Octopussy, You Only Live Twice, License to Kill, that you can sit in, like, I love License to Kill, you can sit down and watch it for a kick, like as in a good action kick. You just want, like Nos smacked, you know, boom, to the brain, just watch boom, 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 action, action, action. Then it's a James Bond film for a, you know, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. You're inside, locked inside, and you're not allowed to go out because the governments are corrupt and they create a disease to keep you locked up. Then watch Tomorrow Never Dies. Why not? It's a good excuse to watch it. Now, what am I going to give it out of 007 Kajeevie stars? I'm going to give Tomorrow Never Dies out of 7. I'm going to give it a solid 5 because I actually really enjoy this film. Even though Paris Carver is a bit... We've got Dr. Kaufman, he's incredible in it. Great dialogue with him with Bond. Also a good moment of Pierce finally going and shooting him, which is really, really cool. So I'm going to give it 5 Kajeevie stars out of 7. It's a good action-packed film. It's underrated now. It's a bit disrespected because Brosnan films got really... well, a bit shitty after this, to be honest. And yes, that includes You, The World Is Not Enough, which I'm going to review tomorrow. So guys, hope you've enjoyed it. That's my review. Let me know in the comments below what you think and how many Kajeevie stars do you think I should give it and how many stars would you give it. Make sure you put your star score in there. Also, guys, for the effort I've gone to make this video and basically insult everyone from black people, Asian people and Germans, give this video a big like, share it with your friends and tell them, whoa, if you don't like political correctness, this is the channel for you. Guys, till next time. Yes, I hit the right button. I thought the ejector seat was going to come out. Till next time, guys, keep on bonding and say hi to your mum for me. See ya.
What he mean I not sexy? Ah, very sexy. Oh, oh.